Hopefully, this time, Edit, it's going to work for us. Oh my God, so many issues on the way here to connect. Welcome to In the Good Company podcast, Edit Bikis. Um, you are a powerhouse of transformation and guiding light in the world in holistic healing and personal growth. You are a holistic mentor, success habit coach, and international speaker. You have dedicated your life to help other people break free from their limitations and embrace their true potential. You are a number one selling author and humanitarian award winner. And you blend and you work with people by blending wisdom of ancient healing techniques with cutting edge neuroscience. And that's how you create rapid and life changing results with your clients. Perfect fit for our podcast and our conversation. Welcome, Edith.
Thank you. Thank you, Anna, for having me.
I'm so excited to talk to you. And before we are going to talk about something that you are working deeply now and are very interested in and work with a lot of clients on, which are panic attacks. I want to ask you like a general question. I always think about this idea how people can start their healing and growth journey, because somebody may come to it, especially people are in our age, right? Over 40, when, we did not grow up with access to so many information and such a push on personal growth and interest in it, where somebody can start and how to start. Do you have any like simple tips for that?
Yeah, I want people to understand that it's a mind, body, and spirit work. So when we are talking about healing, this needs to go on all the three levels. So we need to understand and we need to take care of our body. We need to understand our body, our sensations, how we operate, also going into the basics, eating healthy, exercise, sleep. It's really important because I remember I had clients who actually came to me and said, oh, do I feel this way and that way because I'm spiritually drained, energetically this and that? And then when we went into her habits, into her diet, then I realized that she's lacking certain, vitamins and nutrients. So sometimes when people start to become more spiritual, they start to think about like, oh, every feeling I have, every sensation I have, or every situation I have, it's maybe connected to some spiritual thing or some energy things, because everything is energy, So, and then they start to neglect the physical part, like actually you need to start from the basics, from your body, like why you're feeling certain sensations, what you can actually fix in your body. And then obviously it has to done the work spiritually as well, because the root of your body's issues are in spirit. You can take care of it in the spiritual realm, basically in your past. And then how you can access your past is through your unconscious mind, and that's already the mind part. So all the three is connected. And when you start your healing journey, you need to have this knowledge that yes, you need to work with all the three parts parallel. So understanding your physical body, taking care of that as well, while you are actually mindful about your actions, mindful about your thoughts and emotions, you getting into mindfulness. And then you also spiritually doing the work, you healing your past traumatic experiences in your multidimensional existence. So these three needs to be done together.
Mm-hmm. I like it. And I like this idea that, before we go somewhere out there and heal and talk about spirituality and our mental state, we do have to bring it to earth and look at our body and make sure that kind of physical mechanism is working properly. So then we have this foundation to start working on anything else, right? Because if foundation is broken and it's not working, it's adding to the issue versus making space to heal it.
But the interesting thing is that when you parallel start the spiritual healing, it will help you to make it easier to start implementing new habits or new diet or new mindset. That's why it's parallel. So when we do a session with a client and we heal the past trauma, it can totally shift their energy, and then they can actually easier to start doing certain changes with their habits, like how they eat or what food they eat, because they're going to have a different vibration in their body. So everything is connected. That's why it has to be parallel.
Yeah, definitely. So you kind of started touching on it. How do you work with your clients? Like I mentioned before, you blend those ancient healing techniques and neuroscience. How do you start with your client? How do you work with them?
Yeah, so first question is always, as I mentioned, the diet, and then what they eat, what their habits, how they sleep, what is their environment, what kind of people surrounding them, how is their job, how much stress they are having, so basically knowing everything what is around them right now, what can be a trigger, what can be adjust easier, setting boundaries, maybe start doing different habits, stuff like that. So that's the first step, asking them about that. And then already starting from day one practicing meditations. But this meditation which I recommend them, these are 60,000 years old ancient Adiyogi Shiva techniques, this meditation called Samadhi. So when they start practicing this Samadhi meditation, they already cleansing their chakras, they balancing their chakras in that meditation, and they also activate their pineal gland. And by that, activating pineal gland, they actually transcend into the unconscious mind. So they're lowering their brain waves so they can start producing very powerful, very important hormones on an extra boost, because you produce those hormones at deep sleep. But some people who's having insomnia or not having a good sleep, they can even miss to produce those hormones because, they're not going into deep sleep too much. So then doing this meditation, it helps them to produce those necessary hormones like melatonin, serotonin, oxytocin, growth hormone. So this meditation helps with that. And then also it helps them to the transcend, to communicate with the unconscious mind for the healings. So the daily practice is the meditation, and we connect this meditation also with karma healing techniques, with ancestral healing techniques. But this is like the first step, this Samadhi meditation. So then there is this daily meditation. Then I also have a course which called Life Transformation System course. That's where I actually explain them everything about positive thinking, vibration, ancestors, taking inspired actions, and all of these things, which I don't want to waste time talking about, why we're doing the healing basically on our sessions. So that's a video material what they go through. There is some homeworks related to that. And then we just meet like in the 30 days incubator, I meet with my clients 4 times. So it's basically once a week. And that's like a 2-hour session. And in those sessions, we really go into deep, like, what is your current issue? What is triggering you right now? What is happening into your life? It's a physical illness. It's a mental illness. It's something else, a relationship issue or something.
Yeah, we are on, I think. Did you think that we have another issue? The technical. No, we are good.
All right. You just disappeared suddenly. So yeah, you just gone from my screen. I don't know. So basically, so then when we actually go into deeper into those sessions, in that sessions, we can go deep with the unconscious mind to access the memories which are related to this issue. And we can hear those memories, release the negative emotions from there, rewrite the Akashic records by that, and then let them go. So we stop the triggers as well. So when people start doing source memory healing, they smoothing out their life, because they stop riding the emotional roller coaster. There are not going to be too many triggers anymore. And then basically it's going to be more peaceful. And that's really powerful to feel that way. I just recently talked to one of my clients, and then she said like, oh my God, since we did the session like at the weekend, I feel just so peaceful and so calm, like it's so bright, everything is so bright. I was like, oh, you just got out of the rabbit hole. And she was like, yeah, I did. Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. It's so interesting when you start the healing journey. I'm 10 years in, and there is this moment that everything becomes calmer. And for my particular example, I thought that there is something wrong with me. I was like, what is wrong? And I was like, oh my God. At one point, I was like, this is how peace feels like. This is how healthy likes feels that nothing is wrong. It's just peaceful. It's just stress free. It's just less triggering. It's just my nervous system is more level and calmer and soften. And but for a hot second, I thought, oh my God, there's like something wrong with me. Did I lost all my drive? So I can definitely confirm that. That's amazing. That's so interesting. Um, should we talk about panic attacks?
Yeah, we can. Yes, yes.
Why did you start interested in it? What is actually panic attack? And how? Why do you work with clients? And how did you become interested in it?
Yeah, I
In this
suffered.
part.
Yeah, I suffered from panic attacks in my 20s. So that was actually the first situation which brought me into spiritual healing. So because I didn't wanted to take medications, I didn't wanted to lose control, and then, you already feel freaking out when you are panicking that you're losing control. So I didn't wanted to take medication. So I was searching for some natural remedies, and that's why I got into Reiki healing and then family constellation therapies. And then I realized that they were able to just manage my situation for decades. For decades, I was just managing panic attacks, which means it still hit me here and there when I unexpectedly, I was just more like be able to maybe calm myself down when it happened, or not reaching out to call ER immediately, like in many times. So it's basically when panic attack happens, people feels like, oh, I'm dying, or something is really urgently happening to my body and I need a doctor, or I need something, like who tells me that I'm not dying, So basically that's when people call ER, because they think like I'm having a heart attack, or they're having something, usually that's what they resonate with, because in panic attacks you have like chest pain, and you also shake your body. Sometimes you're shaking in your whole body, so you feel like something is really bad, right? So you are very scared when you're having panic attacks, and that's when many people call ambulance when it's happening to them. So what I realized during this healing process, that nothing could really stop or prevent it. It was just like maybe I could manage it when it happened, or maybe I could be more in peace when I applied Reiki or applied something else. So I was able to maybe come out of it faster. Like when it happened, I wasn't lingering there for weeks or months. It was just happened once, and then I was started to use Reiki. So then it didn't come for another couple of months, or something, or maybe a year. But then it hit again. So then I realized when I got into karma yoga healing, that's what changed my life. That's what really was powerful and helped me to understand more about all the healing procedure and understand the connection, the body, mind, soul connection. And then I was working on my healing, and I realized that, yes, I need to focus on all the three pillars to heal these panic attacks as well. And that's how it happened. I realized that I had iron deficiency. I realized, I had vitamin B deficiency because I was vegan. So I had to change my diet from vegan to back to meat eater. I'm still on a very strict diet. So I still don't eat dairy. I don't eat gluten. I don't eat sugar. I don't eat caffeine and alcohol, but basically I back to eating meat and eggs because of that reason. I felt like I wasn't enough conscious about to find the best food, which has like the high nutrients. I know there are people out there happily living a vegan life, but they are probably more conscious about what to eat. I also added like chia seeds, flax seeds, spirulina, all of this, into my diet, which has also iron, and then dried apricot and all of those things. Like I was looking into all the food which had high iron contents because of this reason.
Yeah.
And so that was really important for me to change in my panic attacks, because what happens with panic attacks is you have anxiety before, and then it becomes panic attacks because it's amplified, the anxiety, and because of your lacking minerals and lacking vitamins in your body. That's why it got amplified. And also there is obviously a root issue which was triggered, but it wouldn't be that over amplified if your body would have been healthier. You know what I mean? So basically, it had to be
Yeah.
resolved.
So like talk about the foundation of your
Yeah,
body, if like the system, mechanical system of your body would work properly with you having iron and other minerals, then it wouldn't be that, right? Like it's like
yeah,
a broken
yeah,
right? Like
yeah. But
the water wouldn't.
yeah, but the very interesting thing is that when I had the acknowledgement about it, it was after my healing session. So I was doing a healing session because I was in bed, I was very sick, and I already had the iron deficiency, but I didn't take it seriously. I didn't do anything about it because I was in the hospital a couple of months earlier. I got the diagnosis. They said, "Oh yeah, you're supposed to eat, more iron, blah blah," and then your GP is going to contact you. And then 1.5 months passed by, and I just added some beans to my diet, or I don't know. I wasn't, enough conscious. I wasn't taking care of myself, like really start taking in iron. I was just like, okay, whatever. And then when I got really sick, that's when I started to do the source memory healing. And in the source memory healing, I was releasing past traumas. And then as soon as I finished the healing, I got a phone call, like a text message from my GP, my doctor, to pick up my iron. Because how source memory healing works is that when you do the healing and then you reframe the past, you rewrite the Akashic records, it actually brings in the solution from the vortex, from the karma vortex. And that solution was him telling me, you go and pick up your freaking iron and you start taking it, because it's just didn't land it properly before the healing. So then I just quickly said to my son to go and buy it. And then the next day I acknowledged that, yes, I need to also switch to eating meat and then taking my iron. And like within 1 month, I recovered completely, because I was really taking it seriously from that moment when I did the healing. But before the healing, I was just not in that mindset or vibration or energy or anything. So that's why I always say it's parallel. So I had to do the healing to get the information. Even though I knew about it, I didn't take action because the healing didn't happen, So it's
Yeah. Oh yeah.
mm,
It happens a lot in like my energy healing, that sometimes it's really about cleansing this initial blockage or something within you, and then people are starting showing up, and it
exactly.
doesn't has to be the myself who finished the healing, but you may get the actual specialist and actual person from just regular Western medicine that is going to help you, or like your example. It happens a lot that sometimes we have to open ourselves to receive the healing we need, even on the ground level, right, on the actual physical level. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
So really it will go, and like your own experience with panic attacks, that and your healing journey that prompt you to start helping others, right, in your journey, and you figure out the system. Yeah, I love it. I think there will be more and more, going to school and training yourself, always important. It's always obviously important, but I always feel like, people who actually went through what they are healing, there is no greater healer, because they really can tap into how it feels, looks, what elements are. There's just no, it's right. Like you have like this inside knowledge that nobody else that has. Amazing. So now I understand you are healed, right? You are full in control with your panic attack. That's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's
And
it's
now you're helping.
yeah, I haven't had it since, like, it was many years ago when I had that time when I did this healing. Basically, I haven't had any panic attacks since, and any other illnesses, or yeah, so it's just really great. And yeah, it's just feels really great. And then I also healed many people with panic attacks. And then one of them was a student, and then she came to me with even more severe panic attacks than I used to have, because she was like crying all day, she couldn't do stuff, and then she was like really shaking and really in a bad condition. So with her, I had to start it with energy healing. I had to start it with Reiki, because she couldn't even sit down doing the meditation with me. She wasn't even in that space. So I started with her with Reiki sessions for a whole week, and then after a week we were able to do the session, basically the meditation and the source memory healing. And I also asked her to start taking iron and then vitamins because she was also vegetarian. So that's how we started the first week. And then within 4 weeks, she was already done, good, went back to school, and she's happy since. So it is within 30 days. That's why it's my 30 days incubator. Within 30 days, you can actually go from misery to peace.
Yeah. We are amazing genius machines. I always like to say this system of ours, between body, mind, spirituality, energy, is just, I'm always fascinated and just amazed what a genius structures we are. Recently you published a new book, and it really, the goal is to help others chasing their big life goals, and it's for people who crave clarity, who crave transformation, and they are looking for strategic ways and for purpose and intentional intentional action to do that. Tell us more about your book.
Yeah, so this book is my latest one. It's called The Gap Filler Success. And then why I called it The Gap Filler Success, because I always considered myself as a gap filler, because I was like, okay, this is where I am right now. This is where I want to be. And there is a gap between, so I need to fill the gap. And then I started this like long time ago, like when I was still a student, and then I was like, looking at always my goals, and I always was very strategic, like what actions I need to take, what preparation I need, what positioning. So there is a 3P method also in the book, and this 3P method is about that, the positioning, the preparation, and the push. And then the positioning is basically to know, like, position yourself close to the fire, to the place where people are making decisions, or you are the one who's making the decision to get closer to your goal, basically. And then the second one is the preparation. Make sure you get the skills, you get everything needed to take that goal, to be able to be responsible for that goal. And then the third one is to push, because many times people, when they prepare and they position, they are there and they got the offer, they still get scared and say, oh my God, can I actually do this? Am I able to fulfill this? And then maybe they scare off and they don't step into their goal or their dream. And that happens very often. So this is the 3P method, which also in the book. So the first part of the book is really strategic. It was the time when I was an engineer, petroleum engineer, and then how I done for my goals, how I got applications, and how I got offers in great companies, and then great jobs, and then so on and so forth. So basically, those were always, I put examples in the book, like how I operated, how I actually got into situations why I wouldn't achieve it if I don't take those certain actions, So I really show hands-on actions, what people can take when they feel like they want to reach something in a strategic way. So that's the first part. And then the second part of the book is more spiritual, for people who believes in law of attraction, manifestation, and also spiritual interventions, divine interventions. And in that part of the book is representing my other life, when I actually left the engineering career, and then I became a holistic therapist and then #1 bestseller and all of those. So then basically how I reached my goals then, and what I realized in that journey, that actually to be able to reach my goals, I also need to take care of subconscious reprogramming. I also need to take care of the healing process, to not to feel stuck, and basically and aligning with the universe. So that's actually speeded up many of my manifestations. It's got much faster, because back in the days when it was more the strategic thing, it took usually to big goals to reach around 1 year, But with the spiritual interventions, it's speeded up for maybe 6 months or even 2-3 months, how fast I get my manifestations, especially if it's a bigger thing. So yeah, so this is how the book is designed, and I also wrote some numerological, astrological things in there, and then how it supports your set, to your reaching your goals, and then some manifestation practices as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds amazing. And it's amazing, like going back to this idea of us being such a, not complicated because it sounds negative, but just a very intricate system, is how everything changes when you also, besides doing the groundwater in your body and make sure that system work, when you work on your system, up there, on your system of your beliefs, and everything also changes, on the earth level for you when you work on that part.
Yes.
Amazing. Congrats on the book. Uh, One last question, Edith. I always ask my guests about some kind of podcast or practice that you're lately into that helps you within your business or within your life. It can be also a book, it can be whatever, it can be an application or tech gadget, whatever comes to your mind and helps you lately and you are into. I always like to share because we learn from each other constantly.
Let me think about it. um, one of my client who's also just became a facilitator recently, because I also teach karma yoga healing. So she also became my facilitator and she's my client as well. She just launched her newest book, and it's so sweet because this book is about the 12th law of the universe from how do cats experience it. So the whole book is about the cat's
Cats
way.
like animals?
No, cats like the pet at home, like your home cat.
Yeah, like
C-A,
animal. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, CAT. So it's with the eyes of the cats, how you manifest with the 12 laws of the universe. And it's a beautiful book. It's from for any ages, like for children or grown-ups. And it's beautiful drawings inside. It's like a picture book. And it's also about manifestation. And it's just through these cute cats. So if someone loves cats and loves manifestation, and maybe you have children, then I highly recommend you to check out this 12. I'm not sure about the exact title. I just know it's law of attraction through cats, and it's like the 12th law of attraction uh, for manifestation by cats or something like this. But I should probably look up the perfect title for that.
Yeah, yeah. You can share a link with me, and I can link it below. But that's
Okay.
so fascinating, interesting. I will definitely look it up. You know what else came up? You mentioned a couple times karma yoga, yoga karma. What is it? I'm completely not familiar. I never heard of it. Can you tell us more about it?
So karma yoga healing doesn't really has anything to do with asanas, the yoga asanas. Sometimes when I mention karma yoga, everybody's like, oh, those asanas and the yoga poses. I was like, no, it's not really. So karma yoga healing is more about the meditations, and more about mindfulness. Is actually the science of consciousness, which represents that you are actually able to be in your multidimensional existence and move between your mind, parts of the mind, which is the conscious, the subconscious, the unconscious, and the superconscious. So having access to all those parts of the mind is how is it affecting your reality in this 3D reality, right? And then acknowledging your multidimensional existence and working through the multidimensional existence, working through all of your issues in that level. So because you can't fix things just being in your 3D. You need to go out to your other dimensions, basically, to your past lives, to your ancestors, to the past of this life, whatever it is, it's in a different dimension if we think that, in a different time. And then if you step into those, you can step into those with karma yoga healing. And you can change things there. And then that's how you actually fix your current reality.
That is fascinating. I never ever heard about it.
Is
But
that
I'm always interested in thing like that because I am not recently, I think for months now, I'm thinking about self-sabotage, right? And I think self-sabotage come from this unaware, deep subconscious beliefs, right? So sometimes you do all the work and you do a lot of things, but there is something deep subconsciously in you that is still blocked, that is still believes something else, and then it manifests itself in your self-sabotaging behavior, right? And I'm always interested in the ways to access this this deepest subconscious just to understand, right? To
Yeah, it could be just a subconscious belief because people told you about it, or your environment were addressing that to you, or it could be even a result of a traumatic experience, and then that's which is blocking you, like having that negative emotions around that, so you can't move forward with it, or you feel more anxious about certain things, or you feel more stuck. Like, for example, maybe you are an overthinker, or maybe you are a perfectionist, because of that, so you don't move forward with it until it's not perfect, or until it's not blah blah blah. So it's like, can be many reasons. So it's possible to look into it, because it can be this lifetime or past life issue. It can be even, a karmic thing or ancestral situation. It sometimes, when you feel stuck, it also can be ancestral defect. And ancestral defect is when you have actually blocking energies on your aura. When you feel like you are a bit heavy, you have heavy energies around you, you feel tired, you feel certain cravings, and then you feel you have maybe some addictions, then it could be because you have heavy ancestral energy on you, which means that there are ancestral spirits who were unable to go to light, and then they come around you and they stick to your aura because they need help. Basically, we need to have them with certain meditation, with certain release, to go to light, and then you suddenly feel really liberated, very light, and then you just suddenly feel moving, just because that heaviness gone. So there are many reasons why you could feel sometimes stuck, but this is one of them. And in my 30 days incubator in the meditation library, one of the meditations is this ancestral release meditation, but there are other many meditations which the client can do, in their own space while we're working on their traumatic situations. They can do it on their own space to clear karma and clear other ancestral karmas and traumas.
Yeah. This is fascinating. This is something that I always think about, our ancestral baggages that we carry within. I had so many stories, even with my own healing journey, that I felt that I experienced that kind of release and understanding. And even like on the 3D level, our cells, body cells, are those of our ancestors several generations back, right? And those cells carry memory, carry energy, carry information. And even if you don't believe it on the spiritual level, like even on the mechanical level, I think it's incredible that we do carry certain things from our ancestry. And sometimes, like you say, it shows up in a very spiritual 5D in different way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah, and then if someone is not that spiritual but want to still achieve a better life, then it's all about mindfulness, that we can only control three things in life: our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions. And if you are disciplined enough, if you have enough energy to do so, then be more aware, be more conscious about your thoughts, because that's really recommended to have positive thinking, positive thoughts. And then I don't believe that this is toxic positivity, as many people say so, because when you think positively, you create positive emotions. And then when you create positive emotions, you take better actions, so it's like a ripple effect. And then when you are in bed thinking, you're assuming the worst, or you are scared, or you worry, or you fearful, or you watching things which is start you to think that, like the news, like horror movies, like thrillers, then basically that's create negative emotions. And the negative emotions is ruining your aura, is blocking your chakras, so it's bringing in lots of health issues. Like your well-being is, you jeopardizing your well-being when you actually are in negative emotions, in low vibrational emotions, because it's scientifically proven that the emotions, how you feel, they have vibrations, different frequency. So when you are angry or sad or disappointed, you are in a lower vibrational frequency. And when you are blissed or happy or joyful, you are a higher vibrational frequency. And the lower vibrational frequencies, they are actually blocking the energy centers, and then is affecting your chakras and the organs around your chakras, especially the gland system, which is the gland system is perfectly aligned with your chakras. So those are the first which got hit by the lacking energies, basically. and the hormonal system, and that could throw up so many things in your body. And so it's really important that understanding that by shifting your mindset, by shifting your thought patterns from negative to positive is really important. And then keep yourself in positive emotions and taking actions when you can see the consequences of your actions, that you're not hurting anybody, you're not hurting the environment, you're doing great, because that's also like the karma is also hitting you back if you're doing bad things, right? So it's all connected. So that's really important to understand.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I like to say always, emotions is energy in motion,
Yeah.
and it's so important to keep it clean. And then at that point, listen to frequencies. I'm lady obsessed. I don't know if you are, but there's so many available on internet for free. Just like a frequency music that is, to your point, right? That um, creates vibration, certain vibration in the room that also affects your body, affects your cells, affects your mood. Love that for hiring vibration. Edith, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for sharing all your wisdom, for all your work in the world, for healing people and spreading this important knowledge. Again, I think it's just so important. When we started our conversation, initially even meeting here, I strongly believe that there is nothing important we can do right now for this world than work on ourselves and heal ourselves. And the more healers, the better in this world, and the more techniques. Again, we are such a intricate and interesting systems that and everybody has a different story and everybody has a different need, right? So I think different healing modalities are really so needed, because we all, just like our fingerprints are different, we are all different, and sometimes we do need different approach at different time even, right? Like one thing may not resonate with you right now, but it will later, because that's where you need it. So again, thank you so much for your work, for your book. I will link everything below. Is there's anything you have right now that you are sharing, any course, any workshop or anything? Again, I will share your book, but anything else, and where people can find you?
Yeah. So I have a school community. So if people want to tune into my workshops and to my classes, then it's happening on my school community, and it's skool.com. But it's like many communities, but my community called Release with Ease. So if they go to school.com, skool.com, then they can find the Discover communities, and they can just search for Release with Ease. And so there are weekly courses and weekly workshops, and people can meet with me asking questions. We do healings together, we do manifestation practices together, because I'm also a manifestation coach. So it's a really nice place to be, especially if you need healing and transformation.
And you work mostly with people, or are you also in person? Because you are located in London, right?
Yeah, I do mostly. I would say, yeah, I do online, because most of my clients are all over the place. Yeah, so.
Got it. Thank you, Edith, so much. I really appreciate you. And yeah,